Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to my small backyard vegetable garden here in central Victoria. I'm here to lift the net on these capsicums and just have a good look at them, see how much fruit is in underneath here. Even though I can see a bit through the net, it's good to lift it. I think I lifted this net a couple of weeks ago. I water through the net and really don't open it because there is a lot of pegs down there, making sure that Mrs. Possum doesn't get in to eat all the fruit. All the bushes are looking so healthy and are really filling out this net. It seems to be such a good spot for them to grow, and they are loving the warmth of the days here now in autumn. I do find this netting challenging just from a visual point of view because I do love to be in and looking at the fruit. I would love to somehow come up with an idea of keeping them in this spot because they seem to love the amount of sun and shade that they get here. So working out some sort of way that they can be here permanently would be a dream, and I have a few things in mind, but that will take some time. For now, I am going to just get and check and see. It looks like somebody's used this as a ladder to get to that other piece of fruit to have a good nibble on. This growth of this Capsicum Delight is very brittle. It was a small plant that I planted in, I think it was close to summer, just in the back of this pot, and the fruit are absolutely gorgeous, that lime green. This one is a bell pepper. I'm not quite sure which one this one is, but I think I bought a punnet of mixed, and this might be one of those. I got these in early. The flowers on this is quite amazing. The Mad Hatter has so much fruit coming on it, lots of flowers. It's quite a tall grower, and this net is restricting its height, but it's quite an open and airy plant, and it looks absolutely beautiful. The fruit is making it hang over because of the weight of them. This is the candy cane I also planted this summer. Now that Mrs. Possum has been locked out, I am seeing a lot more fruit hanging on it. I did get the brown candy cane and also the red and green one. The eggplant here, I don't think get enough sun to be fruiting well, but the foliage certainly looks healthy, and with this warm weather have plenty of flowers on it. The long sweet yellow is always a good fruiter. It's very prolific. The mini red, it has overwintered from last summer. And so have these bell peppers. They have overwintered and grown on this summer. But while I'm here, I am going to pick all of the decent sized fruit. I know it'd be nice to leave it for it to color up. Even though these yellow peppers are fine to pick, and I have been picking these through the weeks to put into cooking. I'm going to remove as much fruit that is of a decent size and get that in and chopped up and put into my freezer, just in some bags. That way there isn't too much big fruit hanging here tempting Mrs. Possum. I'm not sure that if she was tempted that she might chew through the net. This Capsicum Delight is absolutely beautiful in color. The lime green fruit that are on it are so pretty and a decent size. They're not the huge big red bell peppers that you see at the supermarket, but these are absolutely perfect. I would prefer them this size. Hunter is ready for his dinner and he is not liking that I am doing this, starting a project. They are so beautiful. Capsicum is one of the few things in the fruit and veg department that I buy all year through, and the more I can grow, the less I have to buy. And having just these small capsicums here that I can come pick night after night for cooking is absolutely perfect. The variegated foliage on this candy cane plant is absolutely gorgeous. It looks very much like an indoor plant. Something has had a bit of a nibble there. This Mad Hatter, like I said, is quite tall and it is leaning over because the netting is restricting it. But this fruit is absolutely gorgeous to look at. I am picking it green. I don't think it will have any heat in it, but one fellow gardener had commented and said that when they're red, they do have a little bit of heat. Unfortunately, this summer, I didn't get to experience that. I think in the future, if I am going to grow any eggplant, they will be in the garden beds because there is a lot of bush here for not many eggplants. The rest of the fruit on here is quite immature and I will leave it for a week or so, but I cannot put it off too much longer because I will not have time to have these dug up and repotted, ready to move them out of the cold for winter. The only other thing is to leave them here and do exactly what I did last winter and just be covering them up. I don't know which I'm going to do because it is such a shame to be moving these plants that are growing so well at the moment. But for now, I'm going to get them all re-netted, tucked in tight. They're in lockdown. And let's have a look at what I have picked. And while I'm up here, there is no better time than to get on and get these beds cleared and get onto some garden bed prep ready for the autumn crops. These tomatoes are finished. I picked the last of them in my last video. I had picked a lot before the rain came through. It feels so good to be able to move on and get these pulled out. There is a lot of tomatoes on the garden beds, but they are split and fruit that the birds have pecked into and the harlequin bugs have made sure the season has ended. I think this end of season clean out is often the part that is overlooked when growing food. It is probably one of my favorite parts, is the good clear out and the top dress of the beds. I absolutely love doing it. It just feels like a really good spring clean. It's finding that perfect time when to do it. There is a lot of green matter that comes out after growing a lot of tomatoes. I like to use these old wheelie bins as storage. It's not for curbside collection. It's so all my wheelbarrows aren't filled while I wait for it to be added to our big open compost area. That way I have free wheelbarrows. I am waiting on a delivery of mushroom compost, so I will definitely need empty wheelbarrows for that. And I can squish so much into these wheelie bins. You just push it down and push it down. They are so easy to move around and store in quite a small space. I am starting to think about setting out the beds and where I will put the brassicas, and I have garlic that really needs to go in. I pre-sprouted it in the seed snails, and the root system on those is quite large. Hopefully it transplants okay. It was an experiment doing it this way, getting them in and going while my beds are still full of tomatoes. If it doesn't work, I will know not to do it next year. And of course, it won't be so late that I can't plant some more before June. It just will mean that I pull it quite late. Here are all the tomatoes that have fallen off from the rain and the harlequin bugs. I am picking these bigger ones up. You can actually see the harlequin bugs racing around everywhere because the smell of rotting fruit is here and I want it gone. They will go to the big open compost and they won't be sitting in my garden beds rotting. It feels so good to be resetting the garden, even though I am missing the height of all of the mature grown bushes. And I may as well keep going on over to this side and get them both emptied out. That way, once the mushroom compost arrives, I can just get it straight on these beds and I can also get my garlic in. It's quite a puzzle when you go to pull out overgrown bushes like this, when they are woven in between and there are ties on everything. You just have to jump in and start doing it and not think how big a job it is. There is so much fruit falling off this mini Roma. And I guess if I hadn't had the wool on there, I probably would have just dug it into the dirt, but I do not want it mixed through the wool. Not that it takes that much for these smaller fruit to break down. It's not like the larger fruit the other side. There shouldn't be too much smell coming from this smaller fruit. And I'll just dump this in my compost bins because there is a bit of wool mixed in with it, and that will be fantastic for them.